Well, they say it's the hope that kills you. Welcome back to the Maximum Cricket Podcast, and let's review day 4 of the third test between England and New Zealand.
It's a yes-bang maximum, the first of this contest. Oh, that is brilliant. It's a hero maximum. On the ground, down the ground, another hero maximum.
I had it written down earlier on in the day that this is going to be a hell of a series, and it's even as a Kiwi fan, I'll be gutted to lose 3-0, but it's been a hell of a series. I'm not sure about that, but let's go back to the start of the day where New Zealand started 168 for 5, and fair to say England were well on top heading in the day. I thought the test would probably be over today, but like I said before, it's the hope that kills you. Mitchell and Blundell do it yet again. Here are their partnerships this series. 15, 195, 236, 45, 120, and 113. Simply incredible. The fifth pair in the whole of Test history to put on 4 times 100-run partnerships in a series. All series. Not just three match series, not just 4, 5, 6. We're talking all series, and they only did it in 3 times. They only batted 6 times together. Incredible. If you'd said to me that a pair from the Black Caps were going to break this record, I would have thought Conway Williamson. I would have thought maybe Latham Williamson. I would have thought basically Williamson or Conway. If you told me that it was Mitchell and Blundell, I would have laughed at your face. But there you go. Yeah, Mitchell for once was the first to go for 56. This takes his total tally for the series at 538. The first man to pass 500 as a visiting player in a 3-match series in England. The first New Zealand player to pass 50 in 5 consecutive innings. Again, he probably wouldn't have played. Well, he might have played at some point, but he definitely wouldn't have played the first 2 tests if Nichols was fit. That's the crazy thing about taking your chances. And boy, has he taken his chance. It's been incredible. It really has, honestly. Considering how hard it's been for other batsmen, and he's made it look so easy, and also Blundell on that matter. And after he was dismissed, Bracewell was out for 9. So his return for the test as a specialist number 8, I guess, was 9 and 13. Shows that experiment didn't work. Would Henry or Patel got much less? Probably not. Might as well played a specialist bowler or, as we'll find out later, a specialist spinner. New Zealand would have been disappointed to not get a little more out of their tail of Southey, Bolt and Wagner. They only got 6 runs between them. They've sort of had a habit over the last few years of sort of being really niggly for other teams, just sort of getting that sort of 50 runs. I mean, Bolt's got the most runs at 11. Southey can whack him. Wagner's actually not bad. I've actually played a club cricket game against him. He got 100. That might just show the difference between club cricket and test cricket. I don't know, which they knew. So New Zealand all out for 326, which at 160 odd for 5, you'd probably take. This sets England 296 for a 3-0 result. Now, all things being equal, you'd think, here we are. We've got another close test match. And if you said to me at the start of the series, New Zealand were going to set England 280 odd and then 300 almost twice in the fourth innings, I would have told you New Zealand must have won 3-0. And here we are with England needing 296 for victory. And you just almost assume that England are going to chase it down, and they're going to chase it down fast. Maybe the new ball can rip them up again. We did have them 55 for 6. There's no Ben Folkes. At the start of the day, I believe he was ruled out for COVID, which means they brought in Sam Billings, which is interesting in itself. I don't know if it's like picking from the squad. Like, could they have gone Butler? So I guess that's who's the next keeper. Also interesting, they didn't go Bairstow with the gloves, bring in Harry Brook, double down on the batting. So I don't know what the rules are along that. But anyway, so the ball didn't swing. It's not ideal for New Zealand, but England got off to a better start, although it's not hard to be better than 55 for 6. And it wasn't a lot better as the first wicket fell for 17 as Lees was run out unbelievably by Williamson, but also Bolt. Crawley absolutely smoked the cover drive, and Williamson cut it off because it was definitely going to be 4. And I couldn't quite see, but he obviously got rid of it quickly. And then in that time, Bolt, his presence of mind, bowlers always taught this, he ran back to the stumps and he sort of catches it on the run and then sort of back flicks his hand onto the stumps and Lees is well short. So that was impressive. And then, Crawley was going all right, got a brisk 25. We thought, here we go. He's done it. Score was 51. And then he just plays this really ugly shot. I mean, Bracewell, the specialist spinner, bowls one out of the foot marks. Crawley goes for a big booming cover drive. It sort of rips off the foot marks. It sort of hits like it has like a splice or something. It just balloons up to cover. Williamson takes the easiest of catches. And 51 for 2. New Zealand are in the game here. But as I said before, it's the hope that kills you. Because after that, it was all Ollie Pope and Joe Root. England now 170 off for 2. Pope, he looks a hell of a lot better when the ball's not moving around. He looks stable. He put Bracewell under a lot of pressure, which wasn't hard. I'll get to that in a second, but we'll talk about Pope. So Pope, he just looks so good, doesn't he? Probably my favourite part was when he hit Wagner for 3 fours in a row. Short ball pulled, a wee sort of squarish drive, and then the best one of the lot, straight down the ground, full face of the bat. Beautiful to see. Pope ended up on 80 odd. Probably going to get 100 tomorrow. And then you talk about Joe Root. Joe Root, he just... What else is there to say about Joe Root? He just does it every time. He just looks good. He's busy. I think the best way to sort of sum it up. So Wagner was trying to bowl to Root, and he had sort of an offside field, and he wanted to hang it outside off stump. And he's trying to dry up the runs, which New Zealand have been struggling to do. Bear in mind, England are going at like 4.5. So Wagner's trying to bowl outside off, dry it up. Root's kind of cover driving it. It couldn't pierce the field because it's heavily stacked. And the commentators were sort of going on about, they want Root to do something a little silly, maybe just out, we square drive outside, open the face. Well, they were half right. And Root goes, well, I know you're going to bowl it outside off, so I'm going to reverse sweep you over the slip cordon all the way for 6. And that to me just sums it up. That sums up this new English mindset. They're not worried about going out. They're going, in his mind, he's like, the reverse sweep makes the most sense. It's not hitting the stumps. It's outside off stump. Root's 50 odd not out. Will he get 100? Might run out of runs. I don't know. But for New Zealand, they just haven't found a way to control the run rate at all. I realise that this England team are doing batting in a way that's not normal. But when New Zealand were the best team in the world, even when we weren't taking wickets, they were just so good at controlling the run rate, just keeping. And what that does is it brings the second new ball into play. When you're going at 4.5 and over, it's just the runs are just flowing too quickly for the second new ball to actually mean anything. And it just builds a bit of control. So they just weren't able to do that. And part of that is, and here's the elephant in the room, no specialist spinner. And I don't want to dig on Michael Bracewell too much because it's not really his fault. He's a part-time spinner, a very good part-time spinner, and he gets really good revs. He can turn it, and he can bowl some peaches. And he's been asked to do a job that's not fair. And on top of that, they don't have an all-rounder. They're not bowling Mitchell at all. So he's the fourth and only bowler. And he only averages 40 odd in first class cricket. You've got Ajaz Patel sitting there carrying drinks. The only time they played Ajaz Patel was in a green salmon. He only bowled 2 overs. I don't understand the selection. Now, I could go on and on about the selection, but just to see Leach take 10, and, Leach bowl well, but he's not Ravi Ashwin. I mean, Ajaz Patel's a better bowler than Jack Leach, isn't he? So, I'm not saying it would have been the difference, but it's a tough pill to swallow when New Zealand consistently lose and consistently pick the wrong team. England, you can relate to this, all throughout the Ashes. It's not hard. So I I think there's a real problem there. And maybe the loss of Taylor and Watling, we may have made up their runs, but as leaders, is this a problem? It's pretty disappointing. And when Bracewell's going at 6 and over, there's no way that New Zealand are going to win if they can't control the run rate. Poor Bolt and Sally are absolutely running ragged. Yeah, Bracewell, 11 overs for 70. Day 5, with England needing 100 odd. Look, is there a chance for New Zealand? I mean, you never say never. You never count them out. I don't know where the wickets are coming from. They're not getting any swing. They're not getting any consistency. I mean, the thing is, the English batters aren't batting outrageously. Apart from that reverse sweep, they're just playing cricket shots and scoring really freely. So, look, this will probably be over by lunchtime on day 5, unfortunately. And I'll be back tomorrow to deal with my pain. So join me.